Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? It's me, Mr. 4K Upscaler. So this is going to be one of those videos where I wish I didn't have to make, but if I don't talk about this, if I don't make this video, then it's just going to be like that big, sad elephant in the room. Um, the reason we have to talk about this is because maybe this video will have a life of its own, and people can watch this video. Maybe what I'm about to say here will stay somewhere in the back of your head, and you'll remember it, and maybe it will help you in some way to understand that why I'm saying what I'm saying and the point I'm trying to make here on this video. Now, I'm regarding this to the recent events that has happened here in the States, tragic events that have occurred since Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it's first of all, it's a very difficult, trying times that we're living in. But what's even more sad and what's even more sick is the fact that our public officials, who are supposed to be the beacon, our leaders, who are supposed to be the beacon to guide us through, they're using this and they're exploiting this for their own political agendas, for their own political reasons. And then you got the other side out there using it to blame video games, which is totally absurd, to blame video games, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And you have this same tune being played over and over again. It's the video games. The video games influence these individuals, individuals in their mid-20s to do these heinous crimes. They're influenced by all of this. Playing video games like Fortnite, Halo, Call of Duty, Black Ops, right? That's very sad that we are still in the same stigma where nothing has changed. It's the same tune being played out over and over and over again. Same repeating music. Yet people are dying. But the same music is being played out. Nothing's being done. And I'm going to talk about that here a little bit on this video. This is going to be a very serious video. And you can hear it in my my tone of voice that this is some very trying, sad times we're living in. And I want to say something here. Forgive me for pausing for a minute because I got so much to unpack here. I just need you to bear with me here when you're watching this video. Throughout course of my years, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, no matter what type of tragic events we had, we always needed to blame something. There was always something to be blamed. Let's blame something, and that something always happened to be either the instrument that this individual used to commit the heinous crime, or the video game, or the movie, or the entertainment, the music that this person listened to. But we never stop to look at ourselves in the mirror and look at the real issues that we're facing in today's society. We never stop to look ourselves in the mirror and say, well, wait a minute. Instead of doing this, instead of pointing fingers all the time to something that's not going to help resolve this issue at all, let's stop doing this. Instead of doing this, let's look ourselves in the mirror and let's look at ourselves and say to ourselves, how am I treating people this week? How am I treating people last month? how am I interacting with people this month, last year, this year, how I have been interacting with people. Was I interacting in a bad way? Was I interacting with them in a good way? Or am I always interacting with them in a bad way? Am I just going after what I need, what's good for me? Or am I actually trying to help people? Am I actually trying to listen to some other individuals? Or am I being judgmental? Am I judging people based on how they look? Am I judgmental? Do I judge people based on their color? Do I judge people based on their skin? Do I judge people based on how they are dressed? Or based on their mustache? Or based on their physical appearance, which is not their fault? How am I judging people? How am I interacting with the people? We never stop to look ourselves in the mirror and say, wait a minute. Let's stop pointing fingers at something. Let's look at ourselves in the mirror, and we all need to take apart and say to ourselves, maybe we, all of us, me, you, everyone, need to step up to the plate and start changing our behaviors. What's our behaviors right now? Let's look at our behaviors. What are our behaviors right now? We are so out of touch with human touch. We are so out of touch with the human touch because we are constantly always looking at a plastic cell phone that has radiation in it with G5 and G4, 5G, 4G, whatever you want to call it, 5G, 4G connection that radiates constantly to your brain. We're constantly connected to the computers, to the monitors, to the technology. When was the last time you actually go out and sit in the camp somewhere out in the forest? How about maybe you'll see a Bigfoot? How about that? How about you see a bear? I think that would be much better for you to see a bear sometimes in the forest from a safe distance. How about maybe be more connected socially with the people in person instead of being totally out of touch, and the only thing you're connected with is your cell phone and your computer and your tablet and your laptop. I see people every day, they have their earbuds on and they're looking at their cell phone, yet they got hundreds of people on the subway. They're riding the subway and there's so many people there they could talk to. They can start a conversation. They can get involved in conversation, okay? In a respectful way. But everybody's just looking at the device, looking at how much they're going to make on the clicks, how much they're going to profit here. They're just using technology for their own selfish reasons. The selfishness is what's killing us, man. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because the society that we create will manifest back into our faces, okay? And then these crazies will come out of the woodwork because we created them. We created them because we failed to help them. I don't believe that anybody's born evil. I think people have shitty roll of a dice in a life. Not everyone's going to have a good parents. Not everyone's going to have a good tutors or good schools to go to. People, kids, they're going to be born into a very, very difficult circumstances in their childhood. And all that stuff, since their childhood, growing up till their adulthood life, it's going to accumulate with all the negative, bad influence out there that they see in our society. And all of that stuff, they're feeding off of that. And we're giving them all this negative energy, and we're feeding them all this negative energy. So then you have what you have. Because we allow this negative energy of diversity, calling names, pointing fingers, creating cults like mentality, wearing different hats, separating ourselves from one group to another. All of this stuff, it's feeding the negative energy into these vulnerable. These are vulnerable individuals who never had anything happy in their life. They're unbalanced. And they're feeding off of this. They're feeding off of this negativity that's being projected to them every day. They have nobody in their life because no chick wants to go out with them. They're being rejected constantly. And you too, women, have a role to play too. You're so about yourself. You're so about what's important to you. What do you need? How about maybe make some friends? I'm not saying you have to, go out with this person and be his girlfriend, but become a friend with him. Introduce him to some of your other friends. Change his mind. Give him a different perspective on that individual about the life. Maybe that will change him, stir his course somewhere other than the course he's going into, which is a negative course that's building up and building up. And God knows how many of these individuals are out there who are just building up inside, building up and building up inside. They're constantly being rejected. They're constantly being ignored. And boom. Then we all get shocked why this happened. No, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked why it's happening. I'm shocked that we as society haven't done a fucking thing about it, to do something about it. We haven't changed ourselves. Nothing. Now let's talk about the gaming. This is a very tough video to make, guys. I really hate making this video because it's not a fun video to make. It's a difficult video to make. And the reason I'm making this contrast distinction here to our society and not pointing the fingers at the video games, not pointing fingers at the instruments or the equipment that these individuals used, but let's start looking ourselves in the mirror. Have you guys ever seen the TV show Black Mirror? Do you understand the metaphor behind that TV show Black Mirror? That Black Mirror, it's mirroring ourselves to what we are or what we have become. We let technology take over us. Technology right now, it's owning us. Everybody's on the Facebook. Everybody's on the glued to the TV. Everybody's checking their Twitter page, their Facebook page. Everybody's looking how they can exploit and profit clicks to make money for their selfish reasons so they can buy material that they don't freaking need. Everybody's buying material and they're still not happy. Do you know why that is? Because the material will not make you happy. That gap, it's always that void, it's always going to be there. It's never going to be able to be filled. It's always going to be there. Why? Because that void that you have needs human touch. You need to socialize with the human beings. What's going to make you happy, it's the people whom you with. We were meant as human beings to be with the other human beings, to socialize in a good, respectful, positive manners, not in a negative way. Negativity feeds fear, anger, diversion, diversity, and it's always going to end up in the worst possible way. I don't understand. I feel like I'm the only one who sees this. I feel like I'm the only one I feel like a burden. I feel like a Superman that I have this burden and there's nothing I can do about it. I can just sit back, watch this whole thing tear itself apart. And all it takes, it's one simple thing for us to change. Change the way you behave. Strip your ego. Strip away your ego. Strip away all your selfish, implementations of what you need. Forget about your needs. It's not about material. It's not about possession of televisions, possession of big houses, possession of big cars. It's not about that. It's about us as a society. If we have a great society, then everything else will be happy. Everything will flourish and nurture itself to a much better paradise. But we're not there. We're so far from it, man. We are so far from it. And I don't know, like this video is really difficult for me to talk about and make. Like I said, it is sad that this is the world we live in. It is what it is, guys. This whole thing about blaming video games, that's just an excuse. The same old tunes that they've been playing. This is like, if it ain't broke, why fix it? Let's use the same old tune. Let's just blame the movies. Let's just blame the video games, and hopefully people will forget about this and they'll move on. Then you got the other groups out there using it for their own political, agendas, and it's just really, no matter which way you look at this, it's negative. And nothing will be solved, nothing will be resolved, nothing will be fixed, because we accept this. We accepted it. We did this to ourselves. We basically accepted this. We're accepting this as a normal because we are too much invested in ourselves. Let me end this video by saying this. We're so much invested into ourselves that we totally forget about other human beings. That's not my problem. Yes, it is. Because you're living on this planet. You're sharing the same freaking planet. You're sharing the same land. It is your problem. If that person, if it's not being helped, and you isolate that person, then don't be surprised when something bad happens. It is our responsibility to have a better society. We have to take a part to reach out and at least try to listen to a person. Small steps you can do to help out somebody. Introduce him to some of your friends and some of your other friends who knows other friends. Trust me, small steps. Everything takes a little, it's small things that make bigger things and make it into a much better things. But that only happens if we as society change. If we don't ever change, if we're still the way we are, looking at our cell phones with our earbuds, looking at our, clicks, looking at our Twitter page, how many likes I have, how many dislikes I have, how many followers I have. If that's all we are going to be about, then that's the end game. That's what it is. It's only going to get worse. It's not going to get any better because we are willing to trade what we have so pure for technology. All these television, all this equipment I have, I take a shit on it. It means nothing to me. I take a shit on it. It means nothing to me. Just the freaking material. Doesn't mean shit. It's shit. It's what it is. It's a shit. That cell phone, it's a shit. It's not who I am inside. That Facebook page doesn't define me. This YouTube channel doesn't define me. How many followers, how many likes, dislikes I have doesn't define me. What defines you as a person inside, and how you are interacting with people, how you treating other people, how you socializing with the other people. That's what is going to define you as a person, and these small little steps can help. Because people will feed off of that. They're going to say, well, wait a minute. It's not all as bad as I think it is. There's something to this. It's like a domino effect. If you send positive dominoes, those dominoes will follow that positivity energy all across the board. But it only happens when we stop doing this. We got to stop pointing fingers at something. Instead, we need to look at the mirror, look at ourselves, and say to ourselves, hey, well, how was my day today? How was I treating other people? How was my last week? How was I treating people last week? Or last month? How was I interacting with people last month? Was I selfish? Was I all about me? Or did I actually truly give something back in return to the community? No one is born evil. Let me say something. Let me end this video by saying one simple thing here. Guys, I'll never buy into that bullshit. No one is born evil. People slowly, in course of 20, 30, 40 years, 50 years, they turn into that. They're feeding off of the bad influences, and they build up. They turn into that. They build up into that monster. Not because they wanted to, but because they had no choice. And they had no good tutors to help them out. Because nobody wanted to help them out. Nobody wanted to associate with them. Everybody's just judging them, kicking them aside. We as society got to do a better job, man. But the only way this works is if we all together drop our egos, drop our beliefs and our differences, and we truly come to one common goal. This is why the aliens will never come down here to visit us. This is why you'll never see a spaceship come down here. They don't want us going into a universe, into a space with this mindset that we have of selfishness and greed. They don't want us up there like this. This is what Dr. Stephen Greer was talking about. If you don't know who the Dr. Stephen Greer is, go Google him, Dr. Stephen Greer. This is exactly what Dr. Stephen Greer was talking about. We have to do it. It's our responsibility. It's like Chris Evans in, Steve Rogers, Captain America in the Avengers, the Endgame. By the way, phenomenal film, where he says on that AAA meeting, he said, "The world, it's in our hands, and what we do with it, it's up to us." What he basically meant with that is, the world we create, it's going to be entirely up to us. What we manifest is going to be up to us, whether it's good or bad. But let's manifest good. Why manifest negative energy? Being selfish, it's negative. Calling somebody names, it's negative. You can feel it. It's negative. It's wrong. Morally inside, when something is wrong. And I don't understand why it's so difficult for people to understand that. It's not going to help you. The greed doesn't work. Selfishness doesn't work. It's not going to make you happy. Guaranteed, it's not going to make you happy. And sure as hell, it's not going to help the community either. I don't know what else to say, guys. I said what I needed to say. This is a tough video to make. These are some difficult, trying times, and I wish that it was under better circumstances, that we didn't have to talk about this. I wish that I'm a positive person. I'm probably the only positive person maybe left on this planet. But what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling, I don't have any high hopes. I don't feel anything good that's going to come out of this. I hope I'm wrong, but the way things are going right now, man, we got to figure this out. We have to figure this out. If we don't figure it out, then it's the end game. It's over. This is it. This is the new normal. Anyway, guys, that's it. I can't do this video. I gotta end it. I said what I needed to say.